Hi ladies, so today I wanted to discuss the kitchen and pantry cleanup. So it's going to be a pretty brief video because most of you, I honestly believe, know what needs to go. Just for whatever reason, as we discussed previously in terms of self-sabotage, you are leaving these foods and these goods in your cabinets and you tell yourself, I'm not going to touch them for the next month, but you will. You will eat them. In my experience, I have not had a single patient who has chosen to go, half in on things and has not ended up consuming things that they really don't want to be putting into their bodies. So number one, I suggest just doing a really good cleaning of your kitchen. And if you have a pantry or if you have cabinets that are really disorganized and you have canned goods mixed in with boxed goods and so on and so forth, try to clean that out, organize it such that cooking is just a no-brainer at home. So the second thing is going to be removing any products containing MSG. So I want you to get in the habit of label reading. So moving forward, as you go grocery shopping, this won't be as much of an issue because you are going to be reading more labels than you probably ever have in your life. But for now, go through what you have that's existing, see if it contains MSG, and if it does, toss it. Trust me, you don't want it in your body. If you have any processed spices or like food additives, so things that are not just straight spices like cumin, turmeric, coriander, or thyme, things like that. Any pre-packaged spices often contain all sorts of additives that you don't really want in your body. So whether those are in a container and they're just kind of labeled like steak spice. If you get a really high grade, one of the more expensive ones, then sometimes those are awesome. But there are definitely spices out there that have all sorts of garbage in them, or they're primarily salt-based. So again, just turn those around, read the ingredients. For those of you who don't know, if there's an ingredient list written out, like in words, the ingredient that comes first is has the highest concentration in the product. So if they start with salt, that means that the majority of that container is salt. It's going in the garbage. Okay, so I know I'm being a bit of a hard, but has to be done. And then I want you guys to look for sugars. I am going to post a video on the different names that sugars show up under, because the companies know that we don't want sugars in our products, so that it will not say sugar on it. It will say dextrose, sucrose, maltose. There are like a million different types of sugars that are showing up in products now. So I will give you some resources to know what is sugar and what isn't. But again, if you think there's sugar in it, there's definitely sugar in it. And if you think there might not be sugar in it, there probably is sugar in it. So I hate to be kind of a purist, I guess, in this way, but if you think about it and the food isn't real food, if it's been processed and made for you in a factory, it probably should go. So if you have any questions about whether something should go, please snap a quick picture of it. I promise you, you're not the only one that has it in your kitchen or pantry, and post it in the comments, and I will let you know and give you some feedback about what that product contains and why it should or shouldn't go. The next thing is going to be oils. So if you have any funky oils in your kitchen, then again, feel free to post them below if you aren't sure, but we want to stay with things like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, macadamia nut oil, things like that. Again, I'm going to be posting another video on oils and what makes an oil kind of good versus bad, and most of that actually involves how we use it. So it's not so much about the oil in its raw form, but it's what we do with it that causes that oil to denature and be unhealthy. So that will be discussed in a subsequent video. Sea salt. So sea salt or Himalayan sea salt, so it's like a pink, it's actually a really pretty salt, is a great option to have in your kitchen over any sort of other types of salt. And then, like I mentioned, real spices. So real in the bag, just straight up herbs and spices for seasoning things. And that's basically it for now. I also want you to go through and look for canned goods, make sure that nothing has expired. And if it has to go, right? So this is something that I don't know about you, but I kind of aspire to doing on a more regular basis. But that being said, I don't have a ton of stuff in my pantry just, you know, week to week, but I do just encourage you to go through, and if there's anything that's been in there for too long and you're like, what is this? When did I buy this? Chuck it. And I know it's rough because you know that there's value in that, you know that you bought it, but I promise you that it's not worth keeping and consuming and then being unhappy with the way that it makes you feel. So I would encourage you to give this a go over the next couple of days. Let me know how it goes. And if you have any questions or you have any products that you run into that you're really not sure, or you feel like perhaps, you know, this product is marketed as really healthy, but I've never really known if it is truly healthy. A good example of this is something like our Greek yogurts. If you have tried a Greek yogurt and you consume it all the time, you love it, and you want to know, is this really a good one? Snap a picture of it and post it below, and I'll give you some feedback, because there are a lot of health products out there that are claiming and marketing to you. They were trying to trick you. They're trying to get you to buy their product, and they've done it successfully, but they're actually full of sugar, full of unhealthy fats, and so on and so forth. So that being said, last comment is, if it's trying really hard to be a health food, but it wasn't really expensive, unfortunately, it's probably full of all sorts of other stuff. Unfortunately, that's just the state of the industry right now. Things that are really, really, really healthy, like if they are in some way, I don't want to say processed, but if it's like a pre-packaged nut mix or something, the ones that are truly healthy and full of really good things and packaged into a convenient way of consuming it for the consumer. If it is really healthy, it's usually really pricey. And if it's kind of garbage disguised as health food, then it's more feasible on a financial level. So that's another kind of big hint. If they're marketing to you too hard, if they're trying too hard to be something, chances are it's too good to be true. But snap a quick picture, post it below, and I will give you guys some feedback. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below and I will get back to you ASAP. Have a great day.